wrong mode. This is still a new program for me dealing with WebEx. So I am getting used to it. So please bear with me. Charge it to my head and not my heart. All right. Thank you for joining us. Technical difficulty. Please stand by. Charlene is working on it. Oh, we've got it. There we are. Hey, Dre. Hey, Leon. Okay, Leon. I see you. You showing off with legacy. That's what we doing. We showing off.
Cool, that's all. Trying to be cool, that's all.
Hey,
Hey, hey.
where Cynthia's gonna come in. I'm not sure when, but I'm sure she'll be here. But if not, we're gonna keep it moving. Maybe I'll share my story. Okay. Look at Dre. Look at him. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Claims Adjuster Workshop. I take it that you're here because you saw something on Eventbrite or Facebook, maybe even on our website or LinkedIn, where this is a free information session offered to the public. As you see, we're here on our virtual platform, and this is just to give you more information about the life of an adjuster. I love this video that Leon is showing right now because he's at work. He agreed to be one of our panelists, but he has an inspection appointment. So he's got his son, Dre, here with him, and he is his assistant on this. So this is excellent. You all get to see firsthand one of the roles of an adjuster and what it takes and what you may end up doing. Now, not every adjuster role is a field adjuster, which is what Leon is demonstrating right now. There are also what we call desk adjusters, virtual adjusters, or remote adjusters. Okay. And Leon is doing property claims. So he's going out to homes that are damaged as a result of some kind of storm or a loss. However, you could end up adjusting claims from an office and never end up getting on a roof at all. Okay. So just keep that in mind. I love it. Hey, Dre, you looking good today?
Thank you.
I'm loving seeing you walking in your dad's shoes over there.
I missed your class. It was fun.
Aww. Okay. All right, you all. So while Leon and Dre is getting set up, and Byron, I see you there. Hey, Byron, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hey. Byron is working too, you all. So he is doing this on top of working his claims that he is doing. And he has a very special role as an adjuster. So when we get to talk to Byron and get his story, we're going to get more detail about that. All right. I don't want to give out any spoiler alerts at all. All right. So with that said, let's start going through the material. So I'm going to share my screen here with you all. And Lord, please say it's up because, okay, there it is. I'm over here still working with it. I'm like, oh God, please say it's going to act right for me, Lord. Okay, so you're here because you're curious about becoming an adjuster. Ready to be an insurance adjuster? All right. So let's go through it and let's get you some more information so you can make a real conscious decision about the next steps that you want to take for your life and your career. So insurance claims adjusting is a career opportunity that is hidden in plain sight. It's one of those jobs that I remember when I was in college. I used to think, hold on, Leon, I'm gonna mute you all for just a moment. When I was in college, I used to think, where are those jobs? Like, why do I got to go to school for this many years and do all this stuff? Where are those jobs that, it's not a whole lot of training and not a whole lot of money, but they can make a lot of money, right? This is one of those jobs that do that. Okay. So if you're considering a career in insurance, let me give you some statistics about what's going on in our industry right now. The insurance industry is in the midst of a talent gap crisis. Currently, now these are facts and figures from like 2020 and before that. We all know what happened in 2020, so we know they have not released any new statistics since about this since 2020 or since before 2020. So when I get those updated numbers, I will let you know. But from 2020, currently there are more jobs available than there are workers to fill them. So what's really happening is we have a lot of individuals who are retiring out of the industry, and there's not enough people that are coming in to fill those positions. Not only that, just like with any industry, insurance is a growing industry, and insurance, because it is incorporated into every single facet of our lives. As we grow as a society, so does insurance coverage grow with us. And so with that, that's new coverages, that's new adjusters needed, that's new underwriters needed, new actuaries needed in order to continue to keep these businesses going. So according to the last statistic that we received, in the US, the insurance industry will need to fill 400,000 positions by 2020. Those were numbers that they had given us back in 2018. So you can already have a good idea that that number is probably astronomical at this point. We lost a lot of people in 2020 that we did not expect to lose, on top of people who were already retiring out of the industry. So the talent gap crisis is the result of retiring baby boomers and a misconceived disinterest of the insurance industry. I mean, think about it. Who says I want to be an insurance adjuster when I grow up? Nobody. What do we grow up telling our kids? Oh, you should be a doctor, you should be a lawyer. Yes, they could be that, but I would say that it's always good to have an insurance adjuster in your pocket as well. So even though the lowest annual mean wage of the top 4 insurance career paths, which are actuary, agent, and claims adjuster, and an underwriter, that is $63,500, is 25% higher than the annual mean wage of all U.S. occupations combined. So that means that all U.S. occupations, from somebody who's a janitor or someone who's flipping burgers or a delivery driver, all the way up to the executives of these different industries, right? That annual mean wage of all those industries outside of insurance is $47,230 a year. For insurance, the annual mean wage is $63,500 a year. Now, these numbers are based on if you are a direct employee of the insurance company. We're not even going to talk about being an independent insurance adjuster and being your independent your own contractor and your own business owner. We make even more as far as that annual mean wage is concerned. And so they came out with a statistic around, I want to say it's about 2019, that says, hey, we're hiring. So what they had predicted was that they were going to need to fill over 1 million jobs all the way through 2030. Okay, so I know that those numbers have probably changed a lot since COVID. So just giving you all that heads up. So in addition to highly competitive salaries, insurance industry jobs are stable because insurance is often required institutionally, as with car or home ownership and mandated health insurance. Insurers also provide many career advancement opportunities, and I can definitely say they do. Byron can definitely speak to that. He'll tell it when he gives his side of the story. And so with all of that, there's a lot of room for opportunity and growth, no matter what area you decide to go into. Maybe you decide, hey, I don't want to do insurance adjusting. I would say take this information and explore the other career opportunities that there are in our industry, from actuary to underwriter to agent, because the opportunities are there and the industry really needs you. And what I like to say, this is a recession-proof industry. It does not matter what's going on. Mother Nature and human nature is always going to have a situation where there's going to be a loss involved or damage to some kind of property or persons. And so because of that, you can never go wrong in this industry at all. You can even do what I've seen some people do, where they started off in the industry and then they said, oh, I want to do something different. They bounced out, did something else, and then years later came back and was able to pick back up from where they left off. All right. So it's out there for you. Now, you all may be thinking, I'm not talking about an insurance agent. I'm talking about being an insurance adjuster. You're not going to be selling policies. You're not going to be knocking door to door. You're not going to be a salesman at all. A lot of people get those two terms mixed up. Agent and adjusters are totally different. So the adjuster is going to be the one, like Leon demonstrated, who's going to come out to your home or talk to you over the phone and handle your claim by phone. But the whole purpose is that we are to assess the damage and determine what is covered that you have damage to your property based on the policy provisions. And that could be to your property. I mean, again, I'm speaking from the property insurance side, but insurance is workman's comp insurance, right? When we talk about breaching surety bond and fidelity bond contracts, that's insurance. When we talk about insuring a business, right? Or reimbursing a business because it had a loss and it's not operational, okay, and being able to reimburse them for loss of revenue or employee payroll, that's insurance, okay? So it's very, very vast. Even everything from what we call trucking liability, which falls under inland marine insurance, where you have these 18-wheelers having accidents and then the cargo spills out and gets damaged, or the trailer gets damaged, or the truck that's pulling the trailer gets damaged, that there's an insurance claim made for all of that, right? Even during COVID, there wasn't a lot of policies out there that covered communicable diseases, but for the ones that there were businesses that were reimbursed as a result of not being able to be operational as a result of COVID. I mean, there's something for everything. When there is a flood, there's flood insurance. And with flood insurance, once you get to that point, if you're a flood adjuster, you're not getting on a roof at all because all the damage is from the ground, right? So there's a lot of different avenues that you can go into with this. So with that said, Leon, how you doing? You want to talk, or are you ready, or do you want me to go through this next chapter? Hold on, you're on mute. I'll put you on mute. Let me unmute you. Okay. All right. So until Leon responds, I'm going to keep going. So let's give you a little introduction into insurance claims adjusting. So insurance adjusting is a career in insurance claims adjusting is a smart decision when selecting a new career path. The popular opinion of insurance is that it is necessary, yet few know of its vast employment opportunities. Adjusters are a key component to the viability of an insurance company. It is through the work of the adjuster that a client's trust and confidence in their insurance policy is fortified. You must successfully complete a pre-licensing course and exam to become a licensed adjuster. Now, TPAS offers pre-licensing and continuing education courses for adjusters to enhance their insurance claim knowledge, aptitude, and skills. TPAS was founded in 2011 to educate insurance professionals. Our instructors have over 30 years of experience as claims adjusters and are experts in their field. Okay, we've been doing this a long time. So what does an insurance adjuster do? Well, right here, this little picture, just so you all know, these are not stock photos. These are actual TPAS adjusters that we've trained. So here on the left, we have Gary Smith and Nicole Nelson. They're actually brother and sister. And Gary is, I guess he is now a very much sought after field adjuster, and Nicole has been a desk and a field contents adjuster as well. So first, let me give you the definition of an adjuster. An adjuster is an employee of an insurance company or an adjustment firm employed by an insurance company hired to investigate for the purpose of settlement a claim for damages that have occurred to property or persons. So as an adjuster, now there's three main adjusters. You might hear more so about public adjusters. That is a separate process, a separate licensing. We don't touch on that at all. What we encourage people to be is staff adjusters and independent adjusters. Public adjusters are hired by the homeowner or the property owner to represent them on the loss, okay? And they're the ones who stand in the place to talk to the insurance company and hash everything out with them, because some homeowners may be too busy, out of town, out of the country, elderly, whatever the case may be, and they may not be able to work through the process with their insurance company themselves. However, when you're talking about a staff adjuster, which is somebody who's a direct employee of the insurance company, or you're talking about a independent adjuster. Independent adjusters, we're individual contractors. So how it works is these insurance companies have their own adjusters on staff, right? We just talked about them. However, what happens is where they need independent adjusters, sometimes the claim load gets so massive, they become overwhelmed. When that happens, they outsource these claims to third-party companies called independent adjusting firms is the most common term that we use, but there are some that are on a higher level that we call third-party administrators, and those companies are who hire the independent adjuster. Okay, so we're working under, X independent adjusting company for Allstate, for State Farm, but as far as the customer is concerned, they don't know that. For them, you are State Farm, you are Allstate, you are an employee, and you are representing that insurance company when you are working those claims for them. All right. So again, you got to have a good code of conduct. You want to make sure your appearance, even if they never see you and you're just in the office, you want to always make sure that you're presenting yourself at your best self and presenting yourself properly at all times. Okay. So it's the independent, me, myself, I have been an independent adjuster since 2005. I came in during Hurricane Katrina. You all know the big bad hurricane, right? That caused a lot of damage across multiple states in the country. That's where I started, my mother started, and my aunt started. Actually, my aunt got into it first, my auntie Tony, and then she told my mother, and then my mother left Chrysler, where she was working at the time, and then my mom told me. And at the time, I was working as a union organizer for the Texas State Employees Union, and I jumped off the cliff as well. And I've been doing it ever since. Best decision, I think, one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It's got to be number 2 on best decisions. Okay. Love it. And it has been able to, because I know some people are kind of apprehensive when it comes to becoming an insurance adjuster, because they say, excuse me, an independent insurance adjuster, because it's like our job is to work ourselves out of a job. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. You get an influx of claims, you work them until there's no more claims to work. Now, if there's no more claims that they can give you after that, then you're going home, right? But you just made a stack of money, hopefully, if you saved it right and you're being fiscally responsible. And you can sit at home and chill for a couple of months. So my very first assignment, I think I worked 9 months for Hurricane Katrina. I worked in Louisiana, I worked in Alabama, and I worked in Florida. I worked in an office in Alabama. I never went out to the field. I never hopped up on roofs. And actually, my first claim interaction was with personal property damage, which is all the items and materials you have inside of your home, your furniture, your electronics. And so that's what we did. I did that for we worked for 9 months, and then at 9 months I started kind of getting tired because we were working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so it can become exhausting. But we were also making $385 a day. Okay. And so, but after about 9 months, I was very, very tired. So I decided to take a break. And my break included going on a 1-month vacation, where I started off with a road trip starting in Orlando, Florida, and driving with one of my best friends from Orlando, Florida, all the way to Los Angeles, California, and back. We had all kinds of little stops and activities that we did along the way. That road trip took about 2.5 weeks to get through. And then when we got back to Florida, we drove down to Fort Lauderdale and flew to Jamaica for a week. Okay. And then after that, I still had money saved. So I just chilled until something else came along. All right. So there's a lot of opportunity for freedom. When we're working, we are working. When we are working, it is all hands on deck. You are going to miss some birthdays. You may miss some holidays. However, when you have that time off, you can really live the life that you dreamed of living. And again, we took this and decided to stay in the industry, but that was us, right? What's your real dream? What do you really want to do? What do you really envision for yourself? This can be a means to an end. Is it a get rich quick? It is not. I will never promise that. However, it is you can see the light at the ends of the tunnel sooner. Okay. So role and responsibilities. A claims adjuster's duties involve interviewing the claimant and witnesses, obtaining police and or hospital records, that's if it's necessary, and inspecting property damage to determine the extent of liability. I will say inspecting very broadly because, like I said, you could be like Leon hopping on a roof right now, or if the damage is small, something that might be less than $5,000 or $10,000, then you may be able to handle that over the phone by using the insured's ears and observations and eyes to get that damage, and then get an estimate for them that can generate a payment on their claim. Okay. Adjusters can handle property claims involving damage to buildings and structures. They also handle liability claims for damages or injuries caused by motor vehicle accidents, slips and falls, dog bites, or negligent behavior. Now, I know we had an agenda with this. We're a little off with our agenda, but it's okay. So what we're going to do is, Byron, if you don't mind, because I want to take a little, I'm going to go ahead and read what does a claim adjuster do. Maybe I'll just get through the whole thing, and then hopefully somebody will be, I know Byron is ready. He ready to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Byron, is I am going to read this very last chapter, what does a claim adjuster do? And then I am going to start with you at 12:30. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, so what does a claims adjuster do? Functions and duties. Now, this is a very summarized view of it. We're making this, I'm simplifying this. However, once you get into the job, it's a lot of details, all right? But you can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, if my mother can do it, if my auntie Tony can do it, you can do it, okay? If Byron can do it, and Leon can do it, Leon got his son out here doing it, and I got little cousins doing it, and my auntie, my other auntie Diane, listen, y'all can do this, okay? So function and duties. All lines adjusters may handle property and casualty claims, professional liability, hospital professional liability, excess liability, physicians and surgeons liability, aircraft liability, hull, inland marine, ocean marine, boiler and machinery, as well as various types of bond losses. Okay. Now that sounds like a nice, simple comprised list. However, when we talk about property, that's everything from residential to commercial and all things in between. Property can also be farm and ranch. Property can also be heavy equipment like that you see on farms, right? Property can be a shipping yard with shipping containers. Property can be an industrial boat, okay, a freight liner. All right. So there's a lot of things that fall into property. All right. So just to kind of give you all a broader idea. And then job duties include responding to claims in a timely manner, communicating with policyholders, researching each aspect of the claim, including building damage, contents is personal property that's inside the home, and extra living expenses, preparing a detailed damages report for the purpose of making an offer of settlement, and utilizing computer skills with a degree of proficiency. I want to emphasize that computer skill deal. Please get your computer skills up. It doesn't mean that if you don't have it that you can't do this. You can. It's a skill, and all skills can be learned. You have will and you have skill. I can't do anything about your will, but I can teach you skill all day long, right? All right. So with that said, up we have, and I'm gonna stop my share so that we can give Byron our undivided attention. Okay. We have on our first panelist that's going to be speaking here is Byron McGee. Byron, I'm going to let you tell them when you came to us because I apologize that I do not remember. I know that we have had this conversation more than once, but I do not remember.
I think I
So,
came
do you remember what year? Was it 2017? 20?
17 or 18. You know what?
When
I
did I?
think it was in uh 17 because I moved to Florida in September of 18. And I
Okay.
finished up the class in August, I think. Uh, took the
Wow.
class, finished up in August, and then I moved down to Florida in September. And
Mm.
yeah, and I thought it was gonna be like, oh, okay, I got this, and I'm just gonna jump in. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta. The thing is, it's everything is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Every opportunity, everything that she said is out there. But you gotta work, and I will always tell people this because I did it. If you got to start at the bottom, you got to walk before you can crawl. I mean, you got to crawl before you can walk. I'm sorry.
We know
I've
what you
been
mean.
running.
I'm with
I
you.
forgot
I'm
my
with
phone at Costco, and I got two stupid dogs here looking at me like I'm crazy. Uh, yeah, you gotta crawl before you can walk, and I had to learn that because I was applying for jobs, and I'm
you.
like, I'm just gonna be an independent adjuster. If you've
Mm-hmm.
never done it before, you got to start somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you have to you're gonna have to eat some humble pie because if you think you're gonna come in and you're gonna make $100,000 a year, this or that, that's not gonna happen all the time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it can't happen, but it's not something that's just gonna happen. You gotta
Right.
start. You gotta start and you gotta build your way up.
Mm-hmm.
And your drive is gonna determine what you get. I started as I didn't even start as an adjuster. I started as an adjuster trainee, as
Mm.
a TA, basically sending out letters for the adjusters um, and just learning how the payments went and how everything else went. And I didn't get into what I actually wanted to get into because I wanted to do property. And someone basically, I applied for every property and liability job that I could find, but I didn't know any. I was in a whole nother area. I didn't know anybody. So I had to get in wherever I could. So I ended up taking workers' compensation,
Mm.
which I had knew nothing about. At least I know what a trust is, but I had no idea what a 14-day or 120-day letter was, or you know, authorization to treat any of that. So I took the plunge and I tried that. And I'll never forget, somebody told me, yo, if you can learn workman's comp in Florida, you can go wherever you want. Maybe not California, but you can go wherever you want with workers' comp. And he said, people are going to pay you it. And I'm thinking to myself, as a 46-year-old man, and someone offered me $29,000 a year for a
Mm.
job to work, that I was like, you got to be out of your mind. But my friend was like, dude, just take it, learn, and go. I took the position. Within 6 months, I was at over 50,000. I did have to sacrifice some travel and drive. I mean, I live in Jacksonville, but I was working in Sarasota. So every week I drove from Jacksonville to Sarasota. Roughly every week, I would drive a total of 1,000 miles. But it gave me a base. It gave me something. I had the foundation where I got everything from the classes and from getting my licensing, and that was just building. It was building blocks. I mean, it's a position that you can grow in and you can do so many things. And in the short time that I've done this, I've moved into. I started working for the county government down here, St. Johns County. I was a risk management coordinator. Worked with the risk manager. I was setting up employee health clinics and things like that. But my desire was adjusting. I have fun adjusting, and with the short time that I did it, you get to affect people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
even in the workman's comp aspect, and people hate workman's comp and think everybody's trying to get over, but you get some of the best doctors that you can find that are
Mhm.
out there, and you ain't paying for it either. Somebody else paying for it.
Right.
But helping people and getting them back to where they want to be, and back to where they were before this accident, or even, I mean, I've seen situations where you got someone in a wheelchair. You know, they were living a full life, but now they're in a wheelchair. Or say, you know, you got that individual die, but it's about having. And I know I'm jumping all around and everywhere because I've been sweating all morning. I'm sorry. When I saw your number, I was like, oh man, I've lost track of time. Uh, it's honestly, it's about having a lot of empathy. You're dealing with a lot of people's feelings, and even with the property, you got to realize that this person may be erratic and just talking crazy to you. But guess what? Their whole life got turned around, upside down. Just everything is in shambles. And something that may have happened in like 2 or 3 minutes, like a tornado could have hit, or their
Right.
whole house could have got flooded. Everything that they have is gone. And it's our job to help them get back and to get back on their feet. I mean, you got people that do shady stuff and things like that, but
Mhm.
you have to always think you got to always think that this person is on the up and up until they do something to make you think they're being shady. I mean,
Right.
and
You
that's
gotta give them the
what
benefit
I've
of the
learned.
doubt.
Gotta give them the benefit of the doubt, because if
Mhm.
not, you'll be real jaded and you will hate your job.
Mhm.
Truly hate your
Mhm.
job, because I see it every day. The Where I work, honestly, it is, well, where I work at now, because and this is one of the good things about doing this. And Charlene was talking about it, like, yo, you can make money doing it. Where they were paying me one thing before, and I went away to work for the county government. I got a
Mhm.
call one day out of the blue, and they were like, "Hey, we'll double your salary if you come back." So you make
Wow.
you make relationships, and you don't make relationships, don't burn bridges, and
Say
listen,
that.
yeah, that is one of the biggest things, because your relationships in this business
Mhm.
is going to go a long way. And
Mhm.
people go all over with this. I mean, all
Mhm.
over the country. I mean, like the company I'm with now, they got offices in Ireland, London, all over the United States now. So we got bought out by Davies Company. I mean, I can
Oh.
go anywhere I want. And I work remote, so I can still go anywhere I want. So
Hmm.
yeah. So anybody got any questions?
Yeah, you have a question. Okay, so I have a question before I ask the question in the chat. So,
Mm,
Byron, what were you doing before you started doing insurance adjusting?
Everything. Getting people. I used to get people drunk all the time, and all across the state of Missouri and Illinois. I used to be a bartender. I used to manage nightclubs, bars. I was a bartender. Then I did restaurants, managed restaurants, St. Louis and Chicago. And then I
Wow.
did sales for Spectrum. And then I God, worked for a company that sold personal protect PPEs, personal protective equipment,
Mhm.
and then they laid me off, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And
Mm.
I had a friend that lives in, where does John live? John lives in Atlanta, but John was coming through here to go work well, no, he was coming back from one job in Corpus Christi, I think,
Mhm.
or like down in Texas, after a hurricane down there, and he was headed back up to Connecticut to work flooding up there. But
Mm.
he was telling me about insurance adjusting. He was an insurance adjuster. He was independent, and he had been doing this for years. But in a matter of 3 months, he was like, "Man, I kind of slacked off, and I didn't do everything I should have did." and he walked away with like 77K.
He walked
And
away
I was
with
like,
what? You're breaking up a little bit.
oh, he walked away with $77,000
In
from
how
this
many
time
months?
in 3 months.
As a field adjuster.
Field adjuster. He
Go
was
on,
down there
John.
working after a hurricane down in Texas. That hit the Texas area.
Mm. Uh-oh, we just lost sound.
And you,
Okay, there you go. I
Yeah,
think
but
we
he
lost.
told me about it,
There
explained
you go.
everything to me, and he was like, I've been doing this for years. I've worked independently and I've worked for companies. He was like, but I worked for a company first.
Wow. So how did you hear about us? How did you hear about TPAS?
I got on the internet and I
That,
just I looked for it and I called and I thought it was a scam initially. I'm not saying
no, say
I
that.
just don't
That's
trust. I don't
excellent.
trust stuff like that. I'm
I
like,
know it because
this.
a lot of people do think like, oh, this you doing what? You making how much? And all I gotta do is do class for how long? People
Mhm.
are skeptical. I think that's a good point to mention.
Yeah, but you just gotta roll the dice. I mean, and you gotta try. I mean, listen, it changed my life. I'll be perfectly honest.
Same
Uh,
thing here.
but that class changed my life. It put me on a road to get to where I want to be. I mean,
Mhm.
if I'd have stayed in St. Louis and I would not have taken this class, I would still be angry, working, managing restaurants, or doing something else.
Mm.
And that's not where I wanted to be. I wanted my weekends to hang out and be with my family or hang out with my dogs or go to Costco and be domesticated. But I mean, you,
Not be
I got that.
domesticated.
I got that. I got that option. I don't
Yeah.
have to be somewhere else. I mean, during the week it's hard. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll be honest. Uh, I so the mediations, the depositions, and all that other stuff. It's a pain, but you know, it's experience.
So
And
can you expand a little bit more on that? Because a lot of times in most of our panelists, we're on the property side, right? Not a
mhm,
lot of us have ventured into the area that you're in with workers' compensation. And then on top of that, you have, your resilience, like your stick to itiveness. Is that a real word? If it's not, I just made it up, whatever. But I mean, just that tenacity to be like, you know what? You had a goal. You were like, I want to be an independent adjuster, right? And so you went trying to go that route. But I love that you weren't discouraged when you weren't able to get on how you wanted to get on. You were still like, but bump it. Okay, fine. You pivoted, you switch directions. You're like, okay, fine. The independent stuff, I can't get in. I can't get in. Let me do this staff thing. And the fact that you took, because I'm sure you were making a lot more than 29,000 a year
oh yeah.
doing what you were doing before, and to be able to just have the foresight, the wherewithal, and not only that, this level of being humble enough but yet determined enough still, like, I know my worth. I'm gonna go ahead and take this little hit right now because I know that I'm going to evolve into something better later. That mindset is just awesome because I think sometimes just us as a people, I think sometimes we get discouraged and sometimes we may give up too easily, or even like you were saying, I thought it was a scam. You could have been like, oh, see, this ain't real, even after class, hitting all of those kind of walls that you hit. You can't get it on the independent side, then you finally get a staff opportunity, but it's like, a salary that's way beneath you, right? But you said within 6 months you end up getting up to what point, from 29,000 to what?
I was at like in 6 months I was up to like 56K. And I was like, okay, I can somewhat survive off of this, but I still need more. Um, by the time I left there the first time,
Hmm.
I was roughly hey, no, sorry. I was roughly at about 60K.
Okay.
And it's not a ton of money, but you know what? Guess what? I've been in this industry for less than a year, less than
Hmm.
2 years,
Hmm.
and I've I've graduated all these different steps. You know, I'm okay. I'm doing something.
Hmm.
I got an opportunity to work for St. Johns County,
Hmm.
basically get in on a pension program and things like
Hmm.
that. I took a slight pay cut, a couple grand, but it was good experience. It was experience to see what a client, be it a workman's comp or liability and
Hmm.
property,
Hmm.
I get to see everything from their side and
Hmm.
everything that they're requesting and that they want. And you know, you can actually watch. You can watch the adjuster work, and you can know exactly what the adjuster needs to do. So
Wow.
that was a good experience with that. I mean, I had a in the what year and a half I was there, I dropped their what is it called? I dropped their I guess it's basically their rate. It's saying what percentage they're spending on liability and workman's comp and their risk I don't know. It went from a 0.75 to a point point 0.69.
All right.
Uh, so I mean, I got rid of shady doctors.
Mm.
You know, I got everything in line. I got a health program set up so to benefit the county and things like that. So I mean, I got to see it from that side, but
Hmm.
then I still miss the adjusting side. I still miss the
Mm.
investigations. I still miss just talking to new people and
Yeah.
helping them and getting them to where they need to be.
Yeah.
I thought I wouldn't. I thought I was like, I'm like, good, I ain't gotta deal with no more doctors, surgeries, this and that. And what but I missed it. I missed, you know,
Right.
the excitement of someone saying, "Oh, I get to go back to work full time," and I'm like, "Gee, thank you for wanting to go back because everybody else just wants to sit
Right.
at home." So I, I don't know. I mean, it's for me. It was an eye opener. It was where I had to realize that you got to give some. You got to give to get. And
Hmm.
you got to be willing to learn a whole nother skill set sometimes in order to get where you want to get to. Because this, where I'm at right now, is not what I planned on 5 years ago or when I sat
Right.
down in your class. I
Right.
planned on being in. I thought I'd have an RV right by now and just traveling to different storm sites, you
Now
know.
you sounded like Leon. He always talking about getting the RV.
Dude, I'm still talking about the RV.
Okay.
When I retire, I am going to do just field adjusting just on the side. I'm gonna have me a little RV. I'm gonna field adjust and I'm gonna be an independent adjuster with one of these companies and just work when I want to,
So
you
you
know?
still haven't given up the independent adjuster journey. You like, I still want to do that. I'm gonna do
Hell
this over
no.
here, and then when
Yeah.
I'm done, I'm still popping over there. You all, you see that flexibility. You understand? And that's one of the beautiful things about this industry. You can move across, you know what I mean, different areas of specialty. I mean, come on. So now, Byron, with
Mhm,
you, it's been 5 years. That was 2017. We're at 2023. You took a
mhm.
staff job for $29,000. You
Yep.
got within 6 months, you got up to about 50. When you left, it was
Mhm,
about 60. You left,
mhm.
started working for the government, a government authority, and then they called you up and said, "We need you back. We're gonna double your salary."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let me ask you this now. What, if you're okay with sharing, you don't have to give us exact numbers, but around the range are you at now as
I'm
far as
at
salary?
I'm looking at roughly about uh, after taxes and everything like that, and taxes after I pay taxes, insurance, and 401k. I look at bring in into my household roughly about 92. And I put the whole, when I
That's
say
after all
401,
his overhead, y'all.
that's all
You
about my
heard of that?
overhead. So I put, I put in 10, I put in the max on everything. Like
Oh, that's,
401k, all that crap.
I know
Yeah,
that's right.
nigga, max. Because you're gonna match it. And if I give you the max, I'm gonna get what 15, 16% off of what I put, my little whatever. So yeah, I put everything in. I just want my money back in the end.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's nothing, and I'm not using that money anyway. I wasn't using, I was living off what 60K.
That's
This is
true.
all extra. This is
Ooh,
all extra.
say that.
So
Byron said 5 years. And after taxes, after insurance comes out and all of that, he still brings home 92,000 yearly. All right, you all. I hope you heard that. And that's as a staff adjuster. All right. And now, Byron, just please, I know we have the announcement on our flyer, but for those who might not have caught that or paid attention, now, what do you do as a staff adjuster? What is your official title or role?
I'm a legal workman's comp adjuster.
Come
So
on now, Byron.
basically, I take complex cases, anything that's gone legal or someone's got a representation for, then
Mm,
I take that case on. They send the case to me. Um,
mm.
if I have any death cases or I have any deaths with a claim, or it's just super complex right off the bat, then they send that to me. Uh, honestly, you can make, and and
Tell
I'm
them.
saying this,
Tell them. Say
if you
it.
walk in, if you step into the game
Mhm.
and you ain't got to step in making top dollar, but you can make your way through and get all the training that you can possibly get because your foot in the door is number one. That's the first thing you got to do. But just because you got a license, don't mean you're gonna get an independent, like
Say
you're gonna
that.
get a spot.
Say
If you
that.
if you see like Progressive saying, hey, we hiring adjusted trainees, and they say, okay, we're paying you down here for adjusted trainees at Progressive, they pay them $52,000 a year starting off.
As a
Okay,
trainee for Progressive.
but as a trainee for Progressive Geico, they going hard in the painful. If you go in,
52,000 for trainees, y'all. That's on the staff side. Listen now. Listen to the man
if
that's
you
kicking down some knowledge.
if you jump in and you do that 6 months down the road, they're gonna get you. And if you already got your licensing, then you're gonna make more than that coming in the door. Okay, they're paying these people 52, and they don't have licensing, so they got to
Mm,
get their license. You've already
mm.
got them one up on. You already got your licensing, so all you got to do is go through the training, make it through the training, and then they're going to give you a remote position. They're going to give you a company car, and you know you can, excuse my language, but you can be you, you'll get an increase roughly every 6 months with them, starting off in that first year. Second
Mm.
year, you probably get like maybe one. They probably do it 2 times every year. I don't know, but yeah, Progressive. You got Geico. You got State Farm. You can go down to Dallas, but you got to be willing to move around for a little bit. And every
Mhm.
position. I mean, listen. Let's be honest. You're not going to get a remote position because I wouldn't give myself a remote position if I didn't know me and I didn't know my work ethic. Ain't
Right.
nobody gonna give you a tell you, okay, I'm gonna pay you $60,000 a year, and they have no idea who you are. You have
That
no
that makes
experience.
sense.
That doesn't happen. You have to you gotta work the system. You gotta work through it. You gotta go through it, and you gotta you gotta take your licks. But you can take your licks, and in 2 years you can be in that remote position. You can be
Mhm.
real comfortable, and you can
Mhm.
be doing what you want to do. Leon
Mhm.
ain't got to work on Saturday, but he going out to work on Saturday because that's what he want to do.
Right.
He hustle. He's got his hustle and he's building his business.
That's
That's
right.
what we gotta build slowly but surely. And I, I don't know what else to say. I mean, My goal is to get as many people the knowledge or to share my experience with anybody who is willing to listen. And I try
Mhm.
to catch cats in high school or young cats in college that don't know exactly what they want to do. And I'm like,
Yes.
yo, here's an avenue for you. Um, because if if college ain't your thing, college ain't your thing.
Mhm.
But you get these certifications, get the certifications, do it. Then go get a job. Don't say I want to be I don't come and say, well, I can't do this independent thing because nobody's gonna let me in. I'm not gonna let you in either if you don't have any type of experience. So you got to go get the experience, and you got to go work for somebody to get the experience. You got to be an apprentice. As
Mhm.
simple as that.
Mhm.
That's with everything. I mean,
That's what Leon's son doing right now. He
yeah,
right out
that's what
there in
he's
the
doing
field with him right now. So when he
right
gets his
now.
fits together, his adjuster resume, that's exactly what he can say. That he's been
I've
an
already been
apprentice
doing it.
under his father,
I've been
learning under
doing this
his
for
father's
years.
tutelage. Okay. Yes.
Yep. I've been under this licensed adjuster's
That's right.
tutelage for the past I don't know how many years. But when I came in, I was like, hey, do you have any experience? Nope. I can sell you a Manhattan or a Mai Tai, but
Not
can't sell, I
I
can't
can
tell you
sell you a
nothing about
Manhattan or a Mai Tai. I can
that.
sell you a mean drink. Now, let me
You
ask you
know,
this, Byron. So, with that, I know you're saying like I will talk to anybody who will listen. So, has any of your, we got a question here, have any of your family, friends, or anybody else that you know have followed you into the industry?
none of my brothers and sisters have. My youngest sister, when she retires from the military, she's got like 6 more years left. But
Mhm.
she got her adjuster's license, and she said that
Get
she's
it,
like,
girl.
yo, we doing this. When I retire, we're doing this.
So she got
So
her
I'm like, that's
adjuster's
cool.
license now, even though she's not going to be able to use it. So she's going to keep it going for 6 years until she's ready to come
Yeah.
on out. That's what's
Yep.
up, sis.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
and
So
that's
she's
the
got that.
thing. A lot
Yeah.
of people, don't get that. This is about getting this license, getting in the class. You don't want to show up for class or be like, yeah, now I need to get in this adjuster's class. Now, once you see a hurricane coming up the Gulf of Mexico, okay, or a hurricane coming into the Atlantic. This is all about being in this and getting into this. All about getting yourself up to already be licensed, to already get some training under your belt, to already get on these rosters so that when the opportunities come and they call you, you are ready. But if you wait until a storm is on the horizon, you're already too late
Right.
because the class itself takes X amount of days. Then there's a process to get the application process done. Then, and you still got to get on rosters. And some of these rosters could take a week or two for you to work through that firm's process to get on their roster, or even if like Byron, for you to put in your application to be staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so get ahead of it now. Don't wait until the last minute. Now, Byron, before we let you go, because I know you like, I done said it all. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad that we finally got you on one of these, okay? And I still want to do an Adjuster Chronicles with you, all right? Don't think I
Okay.
done forgot about you, because I want to know the whole story, okay? But I will say this: I always ask every panelist, do you have, if you could talk to somebody who's listening right now, who they are looking at this, they're here because they were curious or they heard about it, they might have a friend or a family member or maybe no one at all, right? And they're like, well, what's that all about? Is it real? Is it true? Or whatever the case may be. What words of advice that would you like to give somebody who's looking at this opportunity and thinking about it for the very first time?
You got to crawl before you can walk. And that's something, you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run. If you're right here, right now, and you're listening to this and you're crawling and you're trying to figure out if you want to lift yourself up on that table by getting licensed and going from there, it's a step-by-step process. Just as she said, you can't, if you see a storm in the ocean, and decide you want to take your test and get licensed, then yeah, it's not going to happen like that. But if you take your time, do the steps, and have everything presented and ready to go when it's time for you to get started, it'll make a world of difference. And if you got resources, you got a ton of different resources between Charlene. If you call me and I know about anything down this way, I'll definitely, you can use my name. You want to apply at Davies Company. I mean, you want to move to Nashville, you want to move to Texas, you want to move to wherever else. Hey, but use your resources. And don't, you always know you're not by yourself. You're not on an island by yourself or anything like that. You have resources. You have people that have gone through some of the things that you might be going through. Just reach out, and people are here. I'm willing to talk to anybody because I was scared. I was scared. Oh man, I was. I
It's a
was
little
down to my
terrifying.
last $200, and I got that
Yeah.
call, and they were like 29. I'm like, fine, I'll take it.
Wow.
But as you said, I told them, I said, you are getting a steal, and when the time comes, you're gonna pay me. I was like, but right now you're getting a real good deal, and I'm guaranteeing you that. So
Mhm.
I want my money when it's time for me to get paid. So
And they done gave it to you, honey. Okay, they said,
they
"Hey,
yeah,
Daddy, baby,
yeah,
I got your money. Don't you worry." I said, "Hey."
yeah.
They got
I
your
mean, they took care of me
Mhm.
seriously. But yeah, just one step at a time. Just because you see what I make is what I make, and whatever else. You can go to Progressive and you may have you may jump in the game making like 65, 70 grand.
Especially now.
So
Yeah.
especially now. I
Mhm.
mean, so just all stay humble and always remember that it's learning, because you're going to step into a whole realm unless you went to school for risk management. You're going
Right.
to step into a realm that you've never dealt with before.
Mhm.
And I mean, we learn from our testing, but you're going to see stuff that you ain't never seen before.
Mm-mm.
So just go in and be willing to learn. And there's nothing wrong with working for Geico, State Farm, Farmers, any of them, because guess what? They money spend too.
Listen, say that.
Their money
Say that.
spends too. And they're gonna pay you, and they're gonna put you on if you're there for 5 years, some of them you get vested in the pension, then you go from there. You want
Mm,
to do whatever else, do whatever else. Make a
mm.
plan, but always have your bag that's coming in every 2 weeks. Because I can say I want to write a book about being a bald, angry black man who's
Not
mad
bald
because
angry black
everybody
man.
else get to hang out at the barbershop. But hey, I can still write that book, but I ain't gonna quit my job and say I'm an author.
Right.
I know my lane.
I know
So
that's right.
get your slide into one of them jobs. Slide
Mhm.
into one,
Mhm.
whatever, anywhere. I wouldn't
Mhm.
recommend Gallagher, but
Oh,
I'm sorry.
that's a conversation for another day. Okay.
Yeah, woo. Um, but yeah, go somewhere where they will not overload you.
Mhm.
Because if you go to one of these places and they give you 200 claims starting off with, and claims that ain't closing quickly, you're gonna be miserable. You're
You're
gonna get
gonna
burnt
pull
out.
all of your hair out. I've been there.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been there. I
And
had a pending of about 400 claims at one point,
yeah, so
and
yeah,
they were
just
not closing fast. I might have had maybe
mhm.
10% of those close quickly, like, oh, it's just a food loss. Yeah. Mm-mm.
No, no, you
Mm.
got. Oh, I lost my foot. Like what? How you lose your foot? Yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta do.
Right. You like, hold on a minute.
Yeah. I'm like, how the heck, dude? You just you stepped on a thorn. He was like, yeah, but I lost my foot. Are you diabetic? Yep. How long? So you're gonna hear all types of stuff, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop rambling, and you go to the next person.
I think that was good. Thank you so much, Byron. Before you go, Denise Jackson says, I live in Jacksonville too, and I hope the same for me. Yes, Denise, it can be the same for you. Now, Byron said you can use his name for a recommendation. Now, Byron, is it okay for you to reveal the name of the company that you're with now for anybody who
Yes.
wants to use your name for a
Yeah.
recommendation if they decide to go that route?
Yeah, Davies Company. You go with Davies Company. I don't know if they have any. Here's the thing, as far as remote goes,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't have any experience, they're gonna make you go to wherever for the training.
Right.
And that's the
Exactly.
thing. So you got to go. You're gonna have to go down to Sarasota for the training, or you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to go to wherever for the training,
Mm-hmm.
or like you can check out spots in Orlando. But I know that Progressive and Geico in the Jacksonville area,
Mm-hmm.
they're always hiring for trainees. My next door neighbor before I moved, she had just started as a trainee with Geico or Progressive,
Mm-hmm.
and they were paying her 50 plus, and it was remote, or you
Hear
can
that,
go. It was
Denise?
it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Denise, check that out, and I mean, if you want to go another route, I mean, get my information, give me a call, send me an
Mm-hmm.
email, send me a text.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than willing to help you or do whatever, and we can figure out something down here if you want to come to. Because I work for a TPA, I work for a third party administrator.
Okay.
So, and TPAs don't pay as much as the big companies do.
Mm-hmm.
So, if like as far as like a Progressive and Geico, State Farm, Farmers, and all that, you're gonna they're gonna pay more than
Mm-hmm.
TPAs.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind too.
I
So
think that's a
you,
good point.
yeah, because they're working on contracts too. Because I
Right.
mean, like I think we have like the Daytona Speedway. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know our company does that for every like on liability and the work comp side. But I mean, it's a great spot to be, but I'm pretty sure that they're working that for a State Farm or a Farmers or a Lloyd's of
Right.
London or something like that.
Right.
So,
Right.
so yeah, yeah, but yeah,
Excellent.
yeah. If you're looking for anything down here, just get my information, give me a hit, and yeah, and I'll reach out to whoever and go from there. But when they were asking about how to, if any of my family or friends, actually,
Mm-hmm.
one of my two friends got me into it. The one guy who was an adjuster, the
Right.
field, and then I have another friend who works for an excess carrier out of St. Louis, Midwest.
Mm.
Is it Midwest? Midwest something. Midwest out of St. Louis. It's just like Safety National in St. Louis.
Okay. Okay.
But he's one of the managers there. And when I was telling him about my just frustration, he was one of the people that, dude, learn the workman's comp, go
Mm.
through it, learn it. And he said, you won't have a problem once you learn it. He's like, you can write your own ticket then.
Hmm. Wow.
So
Mhm.
do that. And like, if you find a place that you can go and they offer free, getting you certified for free, take advantage of that. It's just like having a
Yep.
master's, a bachelor's, or whatever. I need to send you
Yep.
that ARM information too.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, you get an AIC, then your stock has gone up. That's like saying that you have your basically masters. I mean,
Yeah.
because you can slide in without a degree. A lot of people ask for a bachelor's degree, and you
Yeah.
can
But
slide in without a degree. But if you
yep.
have that AIC, that's just like saying, okay, I got a degree. That's just like a broker saying that they passed their series, whatever. You got the AIC, you good.
Yep.
So it's all about continuing learning, continuing education, and going from there.
Now, Byron is giving y'all some extra juicy, okay, information when he's talking about those insurance designations with the AIC. I'll talk about it in a little more detail as well. It wasn't on the schedule to talk about, but I feel like, hey, you mentioned it, let's go into it. Byron, before I let you go, can you give the people your email address? I'm going to put it in the chat as well.
Okay, it is Byron, BYRON, period, McGee, MAGEE, at outlook.com.
All right, you all, I'm putting it in the chat. Byron McGee. You can reach out to him and ask your questions to byron.mcgee@outlook.com. Now, what Byron is talking about, he is talking about what we call insurance designations. It's akin to like what he was saying, like if you are selling a financial product and you got to get the Series 7. It's also can be the same as, like, say for instance, you're a doctor or a lawyer, you get your Juris Doctorate behind your name. It has, Charlene Hoskins Esquire or Charlene Hoskins JD, or for a doctor it may say PhD. So there are insurance designations. Technically, there's not any university you could really go to get like an insurance degree. The closest that you might be able to get to that may be some kind of degree in business or something like that. However, we do have designations for our industry that goes well beyond getting that adjuster's license. Okay, the adjuster's license just so you can interpret policy and work claims, right? The insurance designation does give you a big step above all of that. The designations are provided by a company called The Institutes. I think their web address is theinstitutes.org, and the AIC that Byron is speaking of is called the Associate in Claims, AIC. I think there's a couple of designations out there that you can go out for. There's one that's just an AI, there's an ARM, there's an AIC, and the highest pinnacle of all of these designations is the CPCU. Okay. I'm probably going to have to add it to my podcast where I break all of those designations down on our YouTube channel and provide a lot more detailed information about it. But yes, if you have that, yeah, you can definitely write your own ticket on either side of the game, on the independent side or on the staff side in the industry, because that means that it's like going to college and getting your degree as far as the industry is concerned. That means that you have studied your industry. You are considered more on going towards the expert level of the spectrum as a result of that. So the more designations you get, the better. But yes, that AIC is a good one to start off with. Now, these are not quick or easy designations. They may take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Some of them take maybe 6 months to 2 years. It all just depends on the designation itself and what it requires. So thank you so much, Vivian. Vivian just provided the web address here in the chat, web.theinstitutes.org. If you want to go and look into that as well, I would definitely advise, once you become an adjuster, get in the game, go ahead and come to class, get your license, and definitely start working your way towards your AIC, okay? And above that, because that's even something that I aspire for myself, and I've been in this game for 18 years, all right? So, and I just want it because I just like accolades. I do stuff to floss. Okay. I just want to let you know. Like, I literally I am now I would say, I guess I'm a insurance speaker in the insurance circuit. My mother and I, we speak at insurance conferences and things like that. We were even keynote speakers at the last conference we spoke at for PLRB back in this spring, back in March. Do you know my only motivation to becoming a speaker for that conference was so that I could be present for the speaker's lunch? It's a separate lunch that only the speakers get. It's like really exclusive. And so I was like, wait a minute, because when we did our first presentation for them, they wouldn't let mom and I present together because they were like, well, technically you all are with the same company, so we're not going to let y'all speak together. And I was like, oh, okay. But I was co-author of the presentation. Like, I wrote it. Okay. And so I'm thinking for sure I'm going to get into the speaker's luncheon because I'm a co-author. Do you know I watched as my mother and her co-presenter walked hand in hand into the speaker's luncheon room, and as I was looking, the door is closed, and I see her, like, I'm looking through the crack as I watch her, like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, I'm getting that luncheon next year. I wanted the food. Okay, these are my motivations. All right. So just to let you all know, there is so many things that you can do in this industry. You can go really, really high. We are about to start our podcast next month, where we're going to talk about how we even gone beyond just the getting into it and working claims and all that level, because myself and my mom, we not only have TPAS, which is our property and casualty education firm where we train claims professionals, but we also have our own independent adjusting firm called Contents Adjuster Team, where we specialize in handling personal property claims. So we have gone, and we're not stopping there. Okay, we have other dreams and aspirations in the industry and goals that we're reaching for, that we're going to continue to go, going to continue to move in that direction. So there's even things you can go and do beyond this, if you ever decide to find a niche and have a business in the industry. Byron, I think you got some knowledge there where you can definitely create some niche. Can you write a workman's compensation course for us, please?
If you need one, I'll write it. I don't have a problem with it.
You know, I train y'all just so y'all can go out and do and learn some things and bring it on back to the hive, right?
Hey, no worries.
I think you can do it. Just think about that. Let me throw that out there to you, okay? This is a public offering, all right? Y'all heard it. Y'all heard me offer Byron an opportunity to write his own workers' compensation, okay, course for adjusters, all right? And he over there doing the legal side. He a legal adjuster too, so you know he know, okay? And he don't work both sides. Listen, you got all the knowledge, brother, all right?
I'm gonna try to use it.
Hey, I'm here. All right, you all. Thank you so much, Byron. Everybody, if you can, I know he can't hear you, but please give a round of applause for Byron McGee. Thank you for sharing, Byron.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being here. If you don't mind staying with us, just in case some folks have questions at the end, you'd like to hang out with us a little bit longer? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get through. And Leon, I know you're there. Let me read through a little bit more of our information packet here, and then I'm going to bring you back on, Leon, if you can hear me. We talked about duties and responsibilities. So you've heard a lot from Byron. You've heard a lot from myself. What opportunities exist for insurance adjusters? So insurance is incorporated in all areas of everyday life, like we were talking about before, and business. As a result, there are multiple insurance policy subjects where an adjuster is needed. In addition, there are varying levels of expertise within each insurance subject. Here are some of the different types of insurance adjusting. Now, this is just some of them. It is not limited to this list. Automobile, we know that. I know all of us has at least had one auto incident, maybe, or several. Okay. Anyhow, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Residential, commercial, boat and marine, environmental, trucking liability, surety bond, workers' compensation, and flood. Opportunities are available for graduates to become staff or independent adjusters. An independent adjuster operates as an independent contractor. Let's emphasize that point. Once you are an independent contractor, you are now your own business owner, peoples. Okay, so being fiscally responsible is going to be very, very important. I know people, no shade, but I've known people who's been in this industry way longer than me, and they're still living and working storm to storm. I want you all not to just get into this. I want you all to flourish. Okay. We need to flourish as a community and as a people. We cannot do that if when we get money in our pocket, it's burning a hole in it. Right. And so the thing is that we even offer some things where we talk about, because now for the independent adjusters, you're your own business owner. So we talk about, what expenses that you can claim on your taxes, so forth and so on. All right. And so that is so that you can make better financial decisions. You want to save. Okay, you want to put money aside because you do have a dream, because there is a gift that you have inside of you that you haven't been able to explore. You haven't had the room to explore. We have generations upon generations of our people who never had room to explore the gifts that they had inside of them, that died with their gifts and their dreams in them. We are of the first generation that have been able to now explore that and have that freedom to have those options. All right. And so we want to take full advantage of that. Okay, we want to take full advantage of that. All right. My mother always says, you know, I owe a great debt and I am standing on very broad shoulders. I'm going to make it for the sake of my ancestral bloodline, for everything that they had to do and endure to get me here to this day, to this time, to this space. All right. And so with that said, yes, Byron is making 92,000. Yes, my cousin told me technically I'm a millionaire because I've grossed over 100,000 a year for over 10 years. Yes, okay, you can make that money, right? But what good is it if you don't do right by it? All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox with that. Stay focused, all right? So, how are we compensated? So, how we're compensated depends on the position that you're in, what job, what role you're in. For a staff adjuster like Byron, now, again, these numbers may be a little low because I know because the industry is in the middle of a talent gap crisis, they are offering more for starting positions like trainee, just like he was saying with Progressive, 50-something thousand for a trainee position. Okay. So if you're a staff adjuster, you can be in an office or you can be in the field. On average, again, this might be on the lower end of the average, but starting salary about 40,000 with potential earnings above 75,000. Byron has already blew that out of the box. He's staff, he's inside, he's at a desk or working remotely, and he's already at 92,000, and he's made that happen in basically less than 5 years since getting his adjuster's license. In the field, their starting salary could be somewhere, and now this is usually field property that I'm talking about. Starting salary about 60,000, they can earn up to 100,000 or more. I know adjusters who started off as independent and then went staff, and they went staff in the field and they make over $100,000 a year. Okay. So, of course, the benefits of being a staff adjuster is you're going to get benefits, right? You get company benefits. Byron was saying even a company, some cases, a company car, so forth and so on. So once employed, staff adjusters are eligible for those benefits. And then as independent adjusters, we have independent adjusters that go across various levels and subjects across the insurance industry. So from if you're working in an office, and I just give a lower number because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver to anyone or feel like I'm selling you a dream of anything. So I would say you can, on average, this is again a low end, on the low end of the average, as a independent adjuster in an office, you may start off earning about $200 a day, and you can earn above $400 a day. There have been some scenarios like with the BP oil spills where adjusters were working technically like environmental adjusters in an office. All they were doing was the fishermen or the different business owners would come in and say, hey, I can't fish. I've lost this much revenue as a result. Fishing is my livelihood. And all they did was process that paperwork, and they got anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500 a day. Okay. So there is potential to make a whole lot of money. Flood adjusters, they have some flood adjusters that work from the office. They have flood adjusters that work from the field. Starting off as a flood adjuster, you may start off at $700 a day. All right, $750 a day. It just all depends. Now, if you're a field adjuster, they've been doing a couple of different things with the field adjusters. At one point, we were working on what we call component billing, which is you get your bill, you bill or invoice the independent adjusting firm, depending on how much the loss that you inspected, how much it comes to. And then there's like a scale. We have like a list that says, okay, losses between 0 to 10,000, you get 500 for it. Losses 10,000 to 20,000, you get, whatever, 550, like that. So sometimes you'll have component billing, and then sometimes you'll have hourly. So depending on which way you're going, on the very low end of the average, about starting off at about $400 a day. I told you all when we started with Katrina, we weren't field adjusters. We weren't even adjusters when we started off. The very first gig we had with Katrina, we were what they call help room helpers. They call them now the war rooms, but there's basically like a space that these companies rent out from a hotel room, a conference space, and it's just a powwow room where everybody gets to come get help on their estimates because they're new to this, and they'll have management there and trainers there and all of that. That's what we were. We were the trainers in the help room, even though we at the time had no experience on the estimating program that they were using to input the damage information in. We didn't have any knowledge of insurance or the policies. We didn't know anything, but we learned. Okay, and we learned very quickly. And at that time, we were making $385 a day. And so on the low end, you could get about $400 a day. You can earn up to $1,000 a day or more in the field. I have a friend right now who's in the field. He decided to switch. He's very experienced. He's been doing this in the field since Katrina, just like myself. And they just finally switched him out of hourly and back into component billing. And I was just talking to him just the other day, and he said he inspected 3 homes, and based on his component billing and the area he's in, because the damage is hail damage, it's really big. Every roof he's replacing because the damage is so extensive. And so he's bringing in about $2,500 a day right now. Okay, is what he's able to bill for on his component billing. All right, so just letting you know, the potential is wild. So independent adjusters are contracted for term deployments on an as needed basis. I will say this, a lot of people, when they're talking about being out in the field, a lot of people focus on a hurricane or some big weather event. There is a such thing. Those are what we call catastrophe claims. Those are you could be a catastrophe adjuster, right? But there's also what we call daily claims. So you can also be an adjuster doing daily claims locally in your area, in your region, until a catastrophe comes. And that can keep you afloat and keep you fed. You have some individuals who they are so accustomed to daily claims now, that's all they want to do. They don't even chase the big storms anymore because the daily claims keep them going on a consistent basis. What I mean by daily claims is not everything is a hurricane. Not everything is a wildfire. Not everything is a swath of tornadoes moving across the country overnight, right? Sometimes it's the little things, the human error. I was cooking in my kitchen and I got distracted. Now I have a kitchen fire. I was backing out of my garage and I put my car in drive instead of reverse, and I ran into it. We just had a situation here in Lee May, Missouri, not far from St. Louis, Missouri, and it's all over the news. It just happened last week, where I think an elderly woman, I think she may have had a heart attack or a stroke while driving. She lost control of her vehicle. It went airborne and it crashed into 2 homes that was off that main street. And I mean, one of the homes, it damaged it so bad, it broke. You know, all the homes here are made of brick. It broke through the brick. It damaged it. Just the whole house is like open. It got boards now in the opening where there was a brick wall, you know, things like that. Those would be daily claim opportunities. So just letting you know, listen, it's the best job I never knew I needed. Okay. So what is required to be an adjuster? You know what? Before we go into that, I think I'm going to have Leon, because I think I done moved through everything as far as the general information is concerned. Leon, are you ready? Leon,
I'm ready.
are you ready? Okay, Leon, it's 1:32, so that's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna stop my share. Leon, I know we have done this talk many a times, but we always learn something new every single time. So everybody, let me introduce Leon Clay. All right, Leon Clay came to us, Leon, what, 2016, 2015?
Same year Leon graduated, my son.
What?
Same year my son graduated.
What year was that?
2016.
Okay, Leon came to us 2016, and I'm just going to give a little bit of his information. So Leon is a single father, okay? And he has 3 children, and they were
You know what 120 is?
They were little, okay?
Sorry. 130.
But
130. I'm sorry.
so he had 3 small children that he was the single father of, and he made it work with that. All right, now you already know, y'all, that is quite a feat, okay? And he's got his youngest sitting right next to him, walking in his shoes. Dre, say hey to the people.
Hey, people.
He's a chip off the old block, everyone. All right. So I'm gonna let Leon. Leon, what I want to start is where you really started. So Leon and I have actually been friends since before I even became an insurance adjuster. How long we been friends? When did we meet?
About 20 years. I don't know. About 20,
Something like
20
that.
years.
'Cause
Before you went to the
Leon's-
trailer.
Okay, Leon's sister and I, listen, after college, you all, I could not find a job in my degree, which was political science. And so I ended up working at a nightclub. For those who are from St. Louis, I was working at Sprues as a waitress, honey. Okay, let's be real. And so don't laugh like that. I see your face. I was a waitress, a cocktail waitress at a hood nightclub. I surely was. Let me tell you something. All right. It ain't about where you've been, it's about where you're going. All right. But anywho's, I met his sister. We clicked. We became roommates, and that's how I ended up meeting her brother, Leon Clay. And so we've been friends ever since. And so how we actually started, Leon, unbeknownst to me, because we had lost communication for a while, and then when I moved back, because I moved away, and then when I moved back to St. Louis, we reconnected, and I said, "Hey, what you up to? What you doing?" And come to find out, at the time, he was working as a staff adjuster for an insurance carrier that had an office here in St. Louis. And where his life changed, I feel like, for me, my interpretation. Now, Leon, you can tell me if it's something different. But I feel like it all changed when you called me up and said, I just got fired. Let's start from there.
Okay. Okay. So, by the way, my name's Leon Clay. She already said that. But yes, one of the craziest things, I was so freaked out. It was a job that I didn't really care for. The atmosphere was toxic. It was they gave me an out basically, but I was still worried because I'm a single dad. I'm don't want to lose my job. I got to take care of my kids. But the first thing that Charlene and her mom said, Miss Deborah said, was good. Now you can make some real money. I was like, huh? Say what? And the thing was, I hadn't really heard about an independent adjusting. I didn't know if I could just take a leap of faith and jump out there and be like, because I did the same thing with insurance. I was at a credit union for 9 years. Had benefits. I was good, but I was making $14 an hour trying to take care of these kids. But then it was like there was like their cap almost. Like there was no growth there. And I spent 9 years there, but it was for the children because of the banking hours, banking schedules. They kids off, I'm off. So that was the reason. It benefited me that way. But then a friend of mine had actually left that same job, went to American Family, and started. I was like, I'm just gonna wait to see what you do. And then she's like, yeah, they gave me this raise. They're making this. I'm making it. Oh, this is staff. I'm like, ooh. And then I threw my ring in that, my name in the hat, and they called me. And I went there. It was cool. I thought I was going to like retire from this place and all this other type stuff. And then it didn't work out that way. And I was kind of like, I was hurt, but at the same time, I hated it. I hated my manager. She was just like, it was just very toxic. So the best thing that ever happened to me was becoming an independent adjuster. As you can see, I'm still doing it like right now. And now I'm bringing my family into the fold. So I'm not going to talk about money today because I was advised by my cohort here that I need to tell y'all the real. Money's one thing. Everybody needs it. Trust and believe. But just to let you know, this business is not for everybody, especially independent. If you're out here in the field, you got to get it how you live. Like you gotta have upfront costs. You gotta have for your supplies, your tools, your ladder, hotel stay, food, gas. You gotta be prepared for this stuff. But at the same time, when you get your license, you get in there. Some companies will actually front you some money and just to get you on your feet until your check comes, and all that type of stuff. If it's something that you need. But when the money starts flowing, it's good. It's real good. But when you first starting out, sometimes you don't have just $1,000 just to, in your pocket like that, just, for whatever you're doing. But at the same time, my son could attest to this now. It's not that easy of a job, but it's rewarding because you're meeting people, you're helping people, you're getting people back on track, for us like after a devastation, especially they pay these premiums. They, what I'm saying, they have these expectations.
Mhm.
And but a lot of times, like this situation I'm in now, we were talking about customer service earlier, I believe. Customer service is everything. I am
Mhm.
here because a person had lack thereof. I basically replaced someone else who didn't have that customer service, and the customers were basically complaining.
Mm.
And I was like, how bad could this guy be? But apparently he was just didn't have any empathy. Empathy can get you far. You show some empathy with somebody, it can get you far. I mean, these people are stressed, and they expect, they don't care what you're going through, but they expect this insurance company to deliver. They want them to deliver. So, and your job is to go there and try to minimize the problem, not increase it and make it worse than what it is. Because now I'm going through this guy's files, and it's some of the stuff's there, some of the stuff nothing's there. So it's kind of like I got to start it over. I got to console these people. I got to talk to them. I got to bring them, calm them down, and make them like, hey, I got you. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm a little experienced. I know a little something. I'm gonna get to take care of it. Okay, and that's been helping me. And I got my son with me now, so I'm just getting his feet wet. He said he wants to be the desk adjuster. He wants to get into the office. So being in the field, you're responsible for both. You're responsible for both. You're a claim owner. So if you own that claim, that means you're doing the desk work, you're doing the labor, you're doing all this stuff.
Mhm.
Like right now, I am actually sitting outside of my next appointment. While you guys were talking, I was on my way to my next appointment. So, and it's a mobile park. So you have all types of different situations that you get into. I enjoy this because for the simple fact that I'm traveling, always gone. I'm always doing something different. I'm in a different city. I'm seeing different sites. I'm in the country. I'm in big cities. I'm everywhere. And some of these places. This is like my second tour of duty in Indiana. Sometimes I actually went to college about 50 miles away from where we are now.
Wow.
It's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's very different.
Mhm.
If you're a city boy like myself, you're not used to seeing cows and horses. Like yesterday, we seen a cow just walking up on the side of the street like he escaped, trying to escape or something. It's be silly stuff like that, but it's like it's interesting to me. Like, wow, they really live like this. This is wild. So, and it's like if you're big on people, you like to meet people, you like to meet different cultures, you're gonna do that. I was in New York, I was in the Bronx. Nobody spoke English. And I'm in the States, nobody spoke English. I went to Florida, same thing, nobody spoke English for real. But I got a chance to experience the people. I met some good people, I met some good adjusters. Like I said, the money's good, but these other tangible things about this job is important too. Just to know what you're looking, like I said, it's not for everybody. If it's not for the weak, it's not for the weak. My son right now, he's saying like, whoa, you got to do all this? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. He sees me get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to knock out some claims. He sees me go to bed at maybe like 1 o'clock.
Mhm. Mhm.
Once you get things under control, it's not that bad. See, like right now, he's helping me do the desk stuff. So he's making my calls. He set my schedule. We get out here. He's my ladder assist. He's watching me do my thing. Right? He's watching how I'm interacting with these customers. So it's a lot that he's learning, which is cool. I mean, this is the thing. I would love this knowledge that I've gained over the last 6-7 years. I'm passing this on. I need him to be retired by the time he turns, I don't know, 35. I'm gonna say 35. I need him retired and doing exactly what he wants to do with his life. So it's like if I can be that guy, like, hey, this is how you can make some money. This is and it's legit. It's not a scam. Everybody say this is real. This is real. I see this on internet all the time. People hold their IDs up. It's real. I can get you $50,000. Man, you can make this money, and not have to look over your shoulder. It's real.
Yes.
The
Yes.
insurance industry has so many different, like my man Byron. Come on now, you're doing legal stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the money, legal and medical. That's where the money is. You know what I'm saying? I like being out in the field. I sat behind the desk for probably over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't done with the desk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but at the same time, when things get slow, there's nothing else going on. I would take a desk position in a heartbeat to keep that money flowing. But
Yeah,
I'm not
you've
gonna
had
sit
a
there
couple
forever.
of desk positions off and on. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the thing. I am well rounded in this industry.
Come on
I
now.
am well rounded. I do auto. I do I can do. I'm to the point almost where I can do bodily injury. I mean, I've done
You
something
can
like
do
before.
contents because you did contents with
I've
us
done
too.
contents with y'all. I've
Yeah.
done contents. I've done big rigs. I've done right now I'm doing property. So it's so many different avenues in this industry. It just depends on which one you want to go with. And then like he was talking about the certifications and stuff like that. Like when I used to sit there and look at my manager's business card and had all these labels at the end of it, like you got your PhD and your NYCs and your DDDs. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, no, this is why they have to pay me what they need to pay me.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
half of them they don't necessarily use it, but they have it and they get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So why not have it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something down the line for me. My end game is to probably leave the field. I might do something different. I might go into underwriting. There's so many different things you can do.
Yes.
There's so many different avenues you can do. But I would suggest you do your research, check it out, get some testimonials. You can talk to me. I don't care, because the thing is, this thing has been feeding me and my family for a while. I just came back from Vegas and Los Angeles like less than 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Jamaica. I mean, there's so many different, and it's just in a span of like maybe two years or so. You know what I'm saying? I've just been so many different places, and I love to travel. It's part of my DNA. I just love to travel. I think that's the reason why I stay into this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I got family at home, so sometimes I like to, do claims at home, and then when that runs out, I'm out here in the field again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's beautiful. I mean, everybody has, got their little quirks about it. Some people like it. Some people like to say, "I'll never do this again." Like my son is getting a real feel for how this thing is. I've been trying to get him out here for the longest, and he's finally made that time, and now he sees what it is. And the beautiful part of it is, he's interacting with these customers, and they love him. They love him. And the crazy part is just an inspection we did a couple of days ago. I called the man today and told him how much his stuff was going to be and everything. And he made it his business to tell us, like, hey, I'm gonna make sure I tell my agent how good of a job you and your son did. I really appreciate your work. I'm like, when he said me and my son, of course I was like, oh my God. So it was cool, So it's like everything that I'm doing right now is he's turning my game up right now. So by him coming down here to help me, we finna fly through this. And he finna make some money too, even though he's my assistant. So I'm an independent, so he's a part of my staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's right.
He's a part of my staff,
Mm-hmm.
not State Farm, not no other. He's my staff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take care of him. Of course, he's my son. I'm gonna take care of him better than I would anybody else that I wouldn't know. So he's got it good right now. He's getting all the information I can possibly give him. You know what I'm saying? And he's soaking it up like a sponge. He's got questions. He's writing it down. And the thing is, I didn't say this before, but he did an internship for State Farm for agency's office for a little while. So he's familiar with policy. So he got his property and auto insurance license. So guess who got him that? So we're gonna make this a family thing. I got more people coming. I don't know how many people I done referred to her. I didn't got my license renewed, which is coming up again here soon, FYI, back in December. So I'll be calling you back. Okay. And so like I said, it's been a family thing, and the only reason I would even make it a family thing, because if I'm making money, I need everybody else to be like, okay, I need you to be on that same page. Then we can invest in some stuff. We can pool together and like, hey, let's get this property over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
hey,
Yes.
let's go on vacation over here. You know, like, hey, let's do it. You know what I mean? And that, to me, that's the reason why I do what I do. You know what I mean? Because that you do get an end game out of this. You're not constantly sitting around chasing a check just to make ends meet.
Right.
You know, you can get in and get out. You know what I'm saying? And get it done. You know what I mean? It's totally up to how focused you are and how, you know what I'm saying? Because you can get out here and blow everything you get. That's what most people do. They spend it before they get it. You know, and the whole thing is, like you were talking about, I got to get this RV. That is my thing. I need this RV. I see too many adjusters be pulling up in a truck with this nice RV on the back, like, oh, I'm finna go to the park. I'm finna go to the trailer park, man. I'll see y'all in a minute. Like, oh, they go up there and sleep on Walmart's parking lot and chill. It's like the craziest thing. But they have their own, and it's like they're not spending extra money at a hotel. You know what I'm saying? They bring more money back home. You're basically paying off your RV, but at the same time, you have that to do. You know, it gets you to that point where you can actually do things like that. So in this business, I've met so many entrepreneurs that this is either a side hustle or their main thing, or it's just their means to an end to get some stuff done. I do photography on the side. I haven't been doing it lately because I've been so engulfed in this, but all the equipment that I need, I got. All the stuff I don't need, I got. So it's like it's that thing. It's like it's definitely a good means to an end. So if you're on the fence about it, just do the research. It's not a game. You can look it up. Like, how much do independent adjusters make? What's that about? You know what I'm saying? You can. There's so many platforms now that independent adjusters talk about their journey. I think I might start one. I don't know. I got a lot of stories to tell. You know, a lot of people you meet. You know, but my thing is, I'm starting to be a nomad. I like being out here. You know what I'm saying? Being in strange lands and going to crazy places, like some places I probably wouldn't go to at night. But
he's not even talking about y'all how when Leon is serious about this. Like when he talks about saving money, Leon will literally, you know how when people get an Airbnb, and most of us don't want to do an Airbnb where you have to, where the owner is in the house, where it's just one room you have and all that. Leon will be the adjuster with the one room. He like, I don't need no hotel. I got my little mini Wi-Fi, my little MiFi. I got da-da-da-da. If I need to whatever, I just jump in the car and whatever. But this is where I'm gonna sleep. He's like, I don't be there most of the time anyway. Like that's he be really in folks' Airbnb in people's houses, renting a room. Down. He does not.
You know, I haven't done it in a while, but my newest venture is sleeping in the car for the last 3 days. So that's been fun. That's been really fun. I've been chilling. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I got my tablet. I got everything I need. I'm sitting up here thinking like, that's $100 for the night that I just saved. That's another $100 a night I just saved. Woo. By the weekend, he's like, well, you just saved all this money. But I got my son with me now, so I had to get a hotel. So
okay. Be flexible. Be flexible. Because I know there are certain situations where you're in the field, you don't like the hotels get booked pretty fast by the mitigation companies and especially the insureds who are now displaced. You might have to. We had stories where during Katrina, adjusters were in a Walmart parking lot and they just huddled all their cars together and everybody slept in their cars. You know what I mean? So if you want to be in the field, there may be some storms that are like that. You know what I mean? But those same adjusters also walked away from Katrina with making over 200,000 for just that storm. Okay.
That one storm.
That one storm. They only worked a couple of months, 3-4 months. They walked away with 200,000. Sometimes you can have storms that yield big returns like that. You know.
Right. As if you put the work in and get it done. That's a good point because we did that same thing. I think it was, I know I was in North Carolina and it was about maybe 4 or 5 adjusters because all the rooms, there was no hotel rooms available for like 100 miles from where we were.
Right.
And we had to sleep on a pilot parking lot. We went in there and asked them like, hey, can we sleep over here? We just went over there and blended in with the truck drivers. They would sleep, we would sleep. Hey. And we got up the next morning and went to our spot and got the work done and went home with a nice little knot in our pocket. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to see a lot. you're gonna see a lot of stuff. Because I was at Hurricane Harvey, and I'm seeing hotels just filled up just on the way to my destination. Just
Right.
it was crazy. That was my first storm. Was Harvey. Harvey was a little nuts, but at the same time, I was that was my last time doing. That was my I was at a what was that? I was a desk adjuster for TWIA. I was making good money. Actually, I was making like $700 a day. But I'm 6'9", 300 some odd pounds, and they had me in these old little makeshift little offices with these little cramped up little chairs and all this. And somebody from Best had called me. I had been telling them for months. I was like, man, I want to be in the field. I want to be in the field. Dude, I can't take this no more. He said, I got one spot. I got one spot for you, bro. You got to be there about 3 o'clock. So I'm not suggesting nobody else do this, but I just stepped out on faith. And I went down to Houston, Texas, got my training, and they was like, oh, you're not doing Harvey. You're going to Florida. Oh, okay, let's go. And I haven't looked back since. So I've been in the field ever since. As soon as I got that opportunity, I didn't let it go. Because a lot of times once you can get pigeonholed into one position. It just depends on your recruiter, who you deal with. But if you keep voicing what you want to do and be adamant about it, they'll figure something out for you. Otherwise, they can lose you. They know
That's exactly right.
But it's so much competition out here. I'm turning jobs down. As of right now, I mean, this is not even hurricanes. I'm not even no hurricanes. It's just like little storms. Like I'm in Indiana right now. I'm outside of. I'm right by Indiana University in Bloomington. So like it's like little hick towns around me and everything. But it's a lot of wind damage. It's some hail. It's a lot of everything. Tornadoes. All this stuff is going on. So it's always some kind of weather pattern somewhere. But I had to get my name established first before they would call me for situations like this. Otherwise, I was just a guy that was chasing a hurricane. You get in the State Farm. In the beginning, I was getting the State Farm system for a couple of months. And then they release me, send me back home. Then I won't see them again to the next season. But then I got my reputation up to the point where I'm getting State Farm calling, Progressive calling, Allstate. Just depends on what the carrier needs. Whoever my the independent adjusting firm I'm working for, whatever they need. So like I said, I've seen it all. I'm a kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. So I want to get into workman's comp. I really want to get into that. I've seen it. I sat there and got a little bit of training in regards to that. I see the money that they make. And
you have a little experience in it too, right? At one point, you did workman's comp for a small period of time. Yeah.
Yes, I got enough to put on my resume, but not enough to be.
There you go. That's all you need.
Yep. And just doing that alone, just adjusting is that thing, man. It's an acquired taste because you got to be organized. You got to be organized. You got to be. Like these people, they're sitting out on their porch, probably looking at me. I said I have a staff meeting right now, so. So I'm gonna get to them. This should be pretty. I'm gonna knock this out pretty quick, and it's take me about 5 minutes to do it, but it take me about another 2, 3, 4 hours to get all the paperwork and everything done.
Right.
So that's kind of how that goes. But if you're interested in this business, I would like to do your research and just know if you like being independent. If you don't like nobody if you don't like a manager telling you how long you was in the bathroom, checking your hours and time.
Right.
This is why I like to feel I'm my own boss. I am out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm making decisions. I'm making decisions. If I need some assistance with something, I will call in and ask.
Right.
But other than that, they do not bother me. Nobody's bombarding my phone. Like, I say that now, but somebody might call in on. Let me be quiet. But nobody really bugs me. Nobody bugs me. And like I said, I like what I do. And the whole thing is, I always hate when people hover over my shoulder. I've never been that guy. Just give me the work and let me work. You know what I'm saying? I don't need your input. I just give me the work and let me work. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And that's all they do. Just give me work and I'm gone. Got my boy with me now. We're gonna rack up. You hear me?
I love it, Leon. I love it. So instead of asking you for last words of advice, because I gotta wrap it up, Leon, I just thank you. Again, thank you for doing what you're doing, being who you are, and continuing to do what you do. I know that everything that you have set your mind to, you will achieve because that's what you've been doing. Okay, so
Yes,
we're gonna ask for last words of advice from Dre because he is fresh, he is new, he is green, he is still wet behind the ears as an adjuster. Dre, observing your day out here, having the experiences that you have had, you see, I'm already priming you, right? I'm already priming you for the interviews. Okay. Having the experience that you had working on the agent side, so forth and so on. For those who are listening right now, what would you give really quick, 1 minute word, a good word of advice for anyone who is listening and is curious about this opportunity?
Well, for him being in the field, independent adjuster doing field work, it is not for the weak. So basically, for this situation, he came in replacing somebody. So the work was started. So he had to see what he done, what he didn't do, and then he had to go to the destination from wherever he was. So it's about 4.5 hours from where he was. He has to make calls to set up the appointment, and then on the way to do an inspection, he has to make sure everything's correct. At night, you gotta make sure all your tasks that have to be done a certain amount of time are done, checked off. Because what he doesn't talk about is there's a lot of computer work, like a lot I've been seeing him do. Because and a lot of times technology is not always on your side, so you gotta be prepared for that. But like I've been saying, this is not just all this money, whoa, this is awesome. No, he's barely had any sleep. When he does sleep, he's knocked out. Like I said, so a basic day that we've done today. He got up super early, like 4 or 5 o'clock, turned the light on, woke me up. I'm like, what was going on? I went back to sleep because I couldn't do anything. He had to do all work on computer. Got to check off these tasks, upload information, check off notes, say he did this with a customer, say he did that. Because certain agencies or whatever, they need your communication. If you don't communicate or say that you've done something, then you haven't done it. If you've done it for the day, but you don't put it in the system saying you've done it, then they'll give you a call, being mad and all this, saying, hey, you did no work for today, but I did all this. You got to be on top of communication. And in the field, always be very mindful that the client has suffered a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, so right now, to the this trip we've had, there's been people that have had a loss in April, and it's just now getting worked on. So you gotta be mindful, like no matter you gotta be mindful that they've been running around. They've spent all this money every month to the same people, and they saying that somebody has a job to come do to service me for paying all this money to y'all. So they're looking at you like, hey, where you been at? What's going on? And you just got there. You like, hey, don't put it all on me. And once you're there, you got some information. Sometimes you're inside, sometimes you're outside in 100-degree weather with 80% humidity, just sweating like crazy. Sometimes you're there for 30 minutes. Sometimes you're there for over an hour. It really depends. It's like this one, and once we get started, it should be quick because it's a small trailer. It's really really good. But sometimes it's like a 2-story building, and you got to get all the way up there, or at least try to have equipment to find a way to take pictures and document and all that. So it's not easy. It's really not easy because, like you said, sometimes he likes to sleep in his car, sometimes a hotel. In between jobs, if you have multiple inspections in one day, you got to go find somewhere to sit down to get some computer work done. Because, like I said, he came in replacing somebody, so he's still behind. He's still trying to play catch up. So you got to find places to be able to work and get comfortable, replenish from being out in this heat, get some water, something to eat.
Yes.
You really have to manage your time when things aren't in your type of way perfect. Like if you're not starting and finishing it, but instead you're just joining and trying to finish from there, it's gonna be hard. But once you push through, like they said, money come in. Right. It come in.
Get used to being uncomfortable, basically.
Yeah, get used to being uncomfortable. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure y'all know that this is not easy work.
He told me he gonna tell y'all the real.
This is not easy work. He's a 300-pound, over 6 feet, 6'9",
fella.
He's 6'10", y'all. He's 6'10", just to let you know.
He's
Climbing up
taller
on
than his
ladders.
dad, you all.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Climbing up on ladders
Look.
in pants in 100-degree weather, and it's not easy. It's
We
just,
well, look, we barely need ladders, but we got them. We got them anyway. We barely need
I
ladders.
barely need that.
yeah. Yeah,
Now,
so,
thank you,
yeah,
Dre. Thank you
yeah.
so much. Dre is to let you all know. Leon is letting you know it's not easy, but it's worth it. And I love
Yeah, I
you.
wouldn't be doing this for 7 years if I wouldn't be been doing this for as long as I could, as long as I have. It
Mhm.
wasn't. There's a reward to it, risk reward. There's that. So
That's exactly
if you
right.
want,
Thank you.
that's exactly what it is. Risk reward. That's
Vivian
reward is
says
worth more.
thank you too. Yes.
Yes,
Everybody,
yes.
please give a round of applause for Leon Clay and his newest apprentice, Dre.
All right.
All right, y'all. I got to get out here to this inspection.
Do
I'll see
your
y'all later.
thing. Go ahead. I gotta read
All
the
right.
rest of this because we right at 2:00 and I gotta finish. If y'all can just bear with me, I know
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you, Dre. I know we're going a little bit over. I'm just gonna wrap up. We don't even have much to read. I just want to give you the next steps of what's required to be an adjuster. So to be an adjuster, you must be licensed by your resident state. If your resident state, meaning the state that you live in and reside, does not issue adjuster licenses, you can apply with a licensing state as a non-resident. So for instance, we're in Missouri, and Missouri is one of the 16 states that do not issue an adjuster's license. That's also the case for Illinois as well. So what we do is we actually train you through Texas, the Texas All Lines Adjuster's License. If you're in a state, or you're not sure, send me an email. I'll put my email in the chat. Send me an email if you say, hey, I want to get it, but I don't know if my state is a state that does or doesn't, and we'll figure it out, okay? If not, I can connect you with a company that you can go to get your pre-licensing course and exam and licensing for your state, okay? Now, once licensed in Texas, a non-resident license can be applied for based on the rules of reciprocity in other states without meeting their pre-licensing requirements. So, Texas has reciprocity. They're licensed with other states. So once you're licensed with Texas, you can be you're automatically licensed with the states that do not require an adjuster's license. And then you're also can be a shoe-in for not all 50 states require a license. Only about 35 or 36 of them do. And then the ones that do, not all of them are reciprocal with Texas. There's just a handful of them that don't have reciprocity with Texas. So you'll still have to take a course and an exam to get those licenses, like New York and California, for instance. Okay. So the Texas All Lines Adjuster's License is the most popular adjuster license in the country. So the All Lines includes property, like we were saying earlier, property, casualty, surety, and workers' compensation. So you can venture like Byron. He went to class, he got his All Lines license. He's in workers' compensation, right? Leon has been mostly on property, but Leon's done a little trucking liability too. So have I, right? So we've bounced around to different subject and areas in the insurance industry. Now, here are the requirements. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to be a U.S. citizen or a legal alien who possesses a work authorization from the U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Services. You have to complete an adjuster pre-licensing course or pass the Texas state exam. I will tell you this, in our course, it includes the exam as well. You will need to complete the Texas Insurance Adjuster License application and submit it with your application fee. And then the only thing we have to do is every 2 years to keep up with our license, we have to renew it every 2 years, and we have to have continuing education credits that we do. We can take it over the course of 2 years. We just have to have it before that renewal comes up. All right. So they have actually changed these requirements. It's now 3 hours of ethics, but 26 hours of continuing education is required every 2 years, and 2 hours or now 3 hours in consumer protection and or adjuster ethics. So look at that. For the requirements, it's simple. Did it say you had to have a high school diploma? Did it say you had to have a college degree? No, it did not. All right. So I'm just letting you all know, y'all might have some young folks out there who don't, like Byron said, college isn't for everybody. They may not know what they want to do just yet. But all these young folks want is to make money and to travel. Now, we know that from social media, okay? They trying to catch flights and not feelings. All right. So anyhow, the Texas All Lines Adjuster Pre-Licensing course is what we recommend as your first step to becoming an insurance adjuster. It is the industry preferred license for Texas residents and non-residents. And our Texas All Lines Adjuster course is approved by the Texas Department of Insurance. We are Texas Department of Insurance education providers as well. It also satisfies the pre-licensing course and exam requirements for obtaining the Texas All Lines Adjuster license. Now, once you complete the course and pass the exam administered by us, you are then eligible to apply for that license. And so we don't have that many courses left for the rest of the year. August is my birthday month, and also my co-owner, my mom, Deborah Johnson, her birthday month. We don't do nothing in August, okay? So this is our last Claims Adjuster workshop actually for 2023. We usually do them here at the beginning of the year because, believe it or not, for those who don't know, we're actually in hurricane season right now. If you've been paying attention to the Weather Channel, there are some disturbances out there. So we only have 4 more pre-licensing classes left for the year, starting in September. We got one in October, November, and December. If you want to go ahead and register, sign up on our website, tpas.llc/TX-pre-licensing. And you can scroll down. It'll have a little more information about the license as well. And then you can sign up for whatever class you want that's coming up next. And you do have pre-study materials for this course. The course itself is only 3 days. I said it. All that we just told you about, the course is only 3 days, y'all. It's 3 days, but the reason why it's so short is because of the pre-study material. You're going to have about 2 days of pre-study material. So again, if you're going to do this, sign up for it as soon as possible so you can get ahead and have time to do your pre-study material. You're not rushing through the information. You can hold on to the concept longer, and you'll be nice and prepared when class begins. All right, so just letting you know. Now, before I let you all go, because I think that's all that I have. I mean, we are all, as you can see, we gave you a lot of information. It probably feels like drinking out of a fire hydrant right now. We gave you a lot of info. It may seem a little overwhelming. Again, feel free to go onto our website, tpas.llc, and browse, look around. We also have other claims adjuster workshops that we have put out there online. You can follow our social medias. TPAS LLC, space LLC is on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn as well. And I just started our IG page. I'm working on that whole TikTok thing. I ain't got with it yet, honey, but maybe one day, okay? But right now, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We also have a Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter, so I don't want to promote that too much right now. So you can go on there, especially our Facebook page. You can look at the old videos and old posts that we've made. We also have a YouTube channel called TPAS TV. Go on there. We have a few workshops from the past that I put on there. I still got like 2 more to put on there that I haven't put. And then we're going to start a podcast, you all, where we're going to have 2 different podcasts that we're bringing out for everybody. One is going to be called An Adjuster's Odyssey, where we're going to take you through our journey and we're going to talk about all these different insurance subjects and things like that. We're going to dive deeper into the details of our industry and even maybe some controversial subjects about what we be going through as people of color in insurance, okay, being insurance adjusters, all right? The other one is going to be the Queens of Content, because my mother and I are also expert content adjusters. She's number 1. She the number 1. I'm number 2, all right? But we both real good together, okay? So with all of that said, I thank you all for taking the time to spend your 2 hours with us this Saturday. I don't want to hold up too much more of your time. I know we are over time. Thank you again, Byron. I know Leon and Dre are gone, but thank you, Byron, for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story. You all look forward to an Adjuster Chronicle video on our TPAS TV, because I got to sit down and get with Byron, and we got to go over this in more detail. And we also have that on our YouTube channel, not just the claims workshops, but we also have other videos on there where there are different stories from different adjusters that we have trained in the past. So if anybody has any questions, I think I have addressed everything in the chat. If I'll give you about a minute to put your question in, if you have any more questions. If not, I hope we have answered everything that you wanted to get from us. I am so sorry. I don't know what happened to our last speaker, so that's why I went ahead and let Byron and Leon talk a little bit longer. I don't know what happened to Miss Cynthia, but we'll get her in maybe on an Adjuster Chronicle. So I put my email and my name in the chat. I am Charlene Hoskins. I am the founder. If I didn't say that already, I am the founder, president, and CEO of TPAS LLC. Okay. So my email address, if you want to send me any questions, is C as in Charlene Hoskins, HOSKINS at TPAS.LLC. Do not put a .com on there. The .LLC replaces the .com, everybody. I thought I was being really clever with that, but I think I confused more people now that I'm getting feedback on that, but work with it because it's not going nowhere. Okay. But yes, if you have any other questions, inquiries, anything that you want to ask me, please feel free to send it. You have Byron's email, byron.mcgee@outlook.com. I also put Leon's email because he said it really quick. That you all can contact him, but I didn't follow back up with him on his email, but I know it. Leon Clay, you can email him at his company email, clayworld.productions314@gmail.com. And I put that in the chat as well. So I hope that we have hopefully quenched your thirst for knowledge and have satisfied your curiosity this Saturday. And so with that said, we are signing off. Please follow us on all of our social media. And if you have any additional questions, just send us an email and reach out. Byron, any last words that you want to say before I let these folks go?
Just give it a try, and patience is always key. And just be humble and just learn. It's nonstop learning. Every day is something new you'll learn. So just enjoy yourself. Don't overthink it.
I think that's the best one. Don't overthink it. Okay.
Yep.
And you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Denise says, thank you. You're welcome, Denise. Thank you for coming. And Vivian said, have a blessed day. All right, you guys. Well, great. I think everybody got what they need, Byron.
All right.
Thank you
cool
so
deal.
much.
Oh, no worries. Anytime.
Okay, you guys, have a happy Saturday. Have a great weekend. Happy birthday again to our July Leos. August Leos on the way. Woo! Y'all couldn't tell I was a Leo? I am. So anyway, I am going to sign off, you all. I thank you so much for joining us once again. And if you want to do another claim adjuster workshop, look at what we got on YouTube. If not, you're going to have to wait till 2024. Okay. And with that said, we are out of here. Have a happy Saturday. Peace and love and light. And you all have a great one. Bye.